Dear friends, in this video, let us learn about congruency. Two figures are said to be congruent if they are of same size and same shape. For example, in these figures, these two pairs are of same size and same shape. Therefore, they are congruent. Similarly, the others two are congruent. In these figures, they are of same size, but their shape is not same. See, the length and breadth of this rectangle are 6 and 2. Similarly, the base and height of this parallelogram are also 6 and 2. And their area is also 12. 6 2s are 12, 6 2s are 12. But they are not of same shape. It means the angles are not equal to corresponding angles of other figures, therefore they are not congruent. And in this figures, the shape of the two triangles are same, but they are not of same size. Shape means the corresponding side should be proportional, and the angles of one triangle or the angle of one figure should be equal to the corresponding angles of the other. So here the angles are same and the sides are proportional. Therefore, they are of same shape, but they are not of same size. Their area are not same. Therefore, they are not congruent. Now, congruency of circles. Two circles are congruent if their radii are same. If the radii of two circles are same, then their circumference are also same, because the circumference is dependent on the length of radii. If the radii are same, the circumferences are also same, and if the radii are same, their areas are also same, since the area is dependent on radius. If radii are same, then areas are also same. Therefore, these two are congruent if their radii are same. In the second pair, their radii are not same. Therefore, they are not congruent. Congruency of polygons. Two polygons are congruent if all the angles and sides of one are equal to those of another. For example, in this pentagon having 5 sides, all the sides of the first pentagon are equal to all the corresponding sides of the second pentagon, and all the angles are equal to the corresponding angles of the second pentagon. Therefore, these two are congruent. If the angles are equal but the sides are not equal, then they are not congruent. If the sides are equal but the angles are not equal, then also they are not congruent. Usually, if the sides are equal, then the angles will be equal. Therefore, sometimes it is sufficient to show that this if the sides are equal, then they are congruent. Congruency of two squares. If any one side of a square is equal to any one side of the another square, then they are congruent. Here the length is 4. Here also the length is 4. Therefore, these two are congruent. Their areas will be same, 16. And this shape also same, since all the angles are right angles in both the figures and the sides are proportional. Shapes are also same and the size are also same, the areas. In the second pair, though the shapes are same, but the areas, the sizes are not same, therefore they are not congruent. Congruency of rectangles. If the length and breadth of a rectangle are equal to length and breadth of the another rectangle, then they are congruent. In the first pair, the length and breadth of the two rectangles are same, therefore they are congruent. In the second pair, the lengths are same but the breadths are not same, therefore they are not congruent. And in the third pair, breadths are same but the lengths are not same, therefore they are not congruent. Now, the congruency of triangles. If all the angles and all the sides of a triangle are equal to corresponding angles and sides of another triangle, then they are congruent, and vice versa. Vice versa means if two triangles are congruent, then it means all the sides and angles of the first triangle are equal to the corresponding angles and sides of the second triangle. For example, if these two are congruent, then this side will be equal to this side. This side will be equal to this side. This side will be equal to this side. This angle will be equal to this angle. This angle will be equal to this angle. And this angle will be equal to this angle. Or if we show that these three angles are equal to these three corresponding, if these three sides are equal to, if these three corresponding sides and angles are equal to corresponding angles, then we can say they are congruent. In this second pair, the corresponding angles are not equal and even the sides are not equal, therefore they are not congruent. But to tell a pair of triangles to be congruent, is it necessary to show that all the angles of first triangle are equal to the all the angles of second triangle and all the sides are equal to corresponding sides of the second? No. There are some postulates or theorems which tell the minimum requirements for two triangles to be congruent. They are ASA postulate, SAS postulate, RHS postulate, and SSS postulate. ASA postulate states that if two angles in this ASA, A means angle, S means side. If two angles and an included side of a triangle are equal to the corresponding angles and the side of another triangle, then they are congruent. Two angles and one side of this triangle are equal to the corresponding two angles and included side of the another triangle, then they are congruent. So if these two are congruent means automatically third angle will be equal to the third angle of the second, and these two sides are equal to these two corresponding sides. So to tell that these two are congruent, it is sufficient to show that these two angles and included side are equal to the corresponding angles and side of the second triangle. We know that the sum of the three angles of a triangle is 180-degree. So if these two angles are equal to these two angles, then the third angle will be automatically equal to the third angle of the second triangle. Therefore, whether the side is included between the two angles or not is not at all important here, because if the two angles are equal, the third angle will also be equal. So it can be tell that any two angles and one side of a triangle are equal to the any corresponding two angles and side of the another triangle, then they are congruent. Based on the order of the side and angles we take, it can be SAA postulate, side angle here, side angle and angle, or AAS postulate, angle and side postulate. Now the second postulate, SAS postulate. If two sides and included angle of a triangle are equal to the corresponding sides and angle of the another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. In these figures, these two sides are equal to the corresponding two sides of the second triangle, and the included angle is equal to the corresponding included angle of the second triangle. Therefore, according to SCA's postulate, these two triangles are congruent. Please note that the angle should be included between these two sides. Otherwise, this SCA's postulate may not work. RHS postulate, it is a corollary or subtheorem of SCA's postulate. If the hypotenuse and one side of a triangle are equal to the corresponding hypotenuse and one side of another triangle, then they are congruent. Consider these two right angle triangles. Here, if the hypotenuse of the both the rectangles right angle triangles are should be same, and any one side of this triangle should be equal to the corresponding side of the second right angle triangle, then they will be congruent. It is a subtheorem of SCA's postulate. Here also two sides and one angle are considered, but the right angle here is not the included angle here. In SAS, the angle should be included, angle between the two sides, but in RHS, the right angle is not the included angle. So it is the special case of SAS. We shall learn about the need for RHS and the proof of this RHS theorem in the next video. SSS postulate, the third postulate. If the three sides of a triangle are equal to the corresponding three sides of another triangle, then they are congruent. In these figures, the three sides are equal to the corresponding three sides of the second figure. Therefore, according to SSS postulate, these two triangles are congruent. Thank you.